Hello and welcome to Abundantly Minimal. My name is Sarah, and in today's video we are continuing our Minimalist Living 101 series talking about self-discipline. Specifically, a key mindset shift we need to make when we think about self-discipline and some different tips and strategies you can try in your life to have more success being disciplined as you work towards whatever goals you have. Let's jump in. When we look at really any goal that we want to achieve, chances are self-discipline is at the heart of it, especially as any sort of outcome has hundreds, even thousands of small decisions that go into whatever outcome we're trying for. This applies whether we are trying to declutter our home. This applies for health goals that we have. Maybe it's losing weight, getting stronger, feeling better, trying to reduce the effects of a health condition. Any of these things, hundreds of choices. Getting your finances in control, also hundreds of choices and decisions. And all of these together can make it feel very difficult to be disciplined and to actually follow through on whatever our goals are. But one of the key issues with the concept of self-discipline, or motivation even, if you will, is that we think, in our heads at least, that our progress is going to be linear. We think, well, if I do these actions and I start here and I do them every day, I'm just going to keep improving over time, and I will then reach my goal. Easy. But the truth is, whatever path we're on, whether it's decluttering, health-related, financial, anything else, they're not linear. As nice as that would be, they're more of a roller coaster. You have a big surge of motivation and excitement at the beginning, unfortunately followed by a plummet, if you will, where we feel like we're falling apart. We maybe have a lapse in progress. We make a mistake. We feel like we've lost the momentum. But the key point here is to not fall off the wagon completely or give up. We keep pushing through, and then there's different ups and downs along the way. This is true, just to use decluttering as an example. Maybe at one point you felt like you had a lot of motivation to declutter. Maybe over time, then it sort of started to take a back seat, or something happened and your focus was, shifted elsewhere. And then you might have continued pushing through and noticed that certain phases it just felt a lot easier than others, and then other phases maybe felt a bit more difficult. And we have to understand that this is natural. No matter what type of goal we're trying to achieve, we're not always going to be just continuing to make progress. And if we understand that this, whatever journey you're on, ebbs and flows and goes up and down, I think that can actually be a really healthy mindset to know, hey, maybe I'm not in that surge right now. Maybe I feel like I'm slipping up, but I can still make progress, and I don't have to, completely give up on this and revert back to my old ways. But now let's get into some specific strategies to help you improve your self-discipline. First, I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to connect any impulses you're feeling to self-awareness. Part of self-discipline comes from being in control of yourself, your emotions, the way you are carrying yourself, and the decisions you're making. And a lot of times we make decisions that don't really make sense, and we have to dig deep. Why are we making that decision? Just to use an example of food that I've been working on is sometimes I can be a snacker. But why am I trying to snack on something? Is it because I'm truly hungry and maybe didn't eat enough earlier in the day? That's the case sometimes. But sometimes it's that I need to be drinking more water. Maybe I'm bored. Maybe I'm craving a sweet treat or salty snack just for fun, but I'm not actually requiring sustenance or needing food at that time. So taking a few extra seconds here to kind of reflect, why am I thinking about having that snack, can prevent me from eating certain snacks just for fun and then regretting that later. Likewise, if you're trying to save money, why are you so desired to purchase this item? Is it because there's a certain pain or void you feel in your life that you think this item might replace? We obviously know that in a lot of cases, a specific physical item is not going to be able to do that. So if we can really reflect about that for just a few seconds even before making a purchase, why am I really trying to purchase this? What do I really want out of this? Can help. And even with decluttering, if you're Finding an item that you think you probably can let go of, but you're feeling stuck? Why? What is the root issue? What is the deeper meaning behind this particular object? Maybe it's not even about the object at all, it's about a much larger factor behind it. And when we allow ourselves to unpack these different emotions or thoughts and just pause and think about it before we decide, now I'm just going to put this back on the shelf, we are more able to make a better decision and continue to improve our self-discipline. So always connect it back to self-awareness. Why are you motivated to take a certain action? It's also helpful to try to make things easier for yourself. If you're trying to declutter more, make sure that donation bin is set up, or you have that maybe bin set up when you set aside items for 30 days, so you have a place you can put things as you're working through clutter. If you're trying to cut spending, don't make your credit cards as easily accessible to yourself. Put them somewhere a bit more out of reach in the house, and don't store that information on your devices so you can't easily order online purchases. When we make things a little bit more difficult for ourselves, you're less likely to complete the action because there's more effort and resistance there. It's also so important that we show up as much as possible. Something a lot of people get wrong is thinking, oh, well, I need to go all in if I'm going to make big progress. And it certainly can help. But if you try to bite off more than you can chew and try to do too much too quickly, you're probably going to burn out. It would be much better to focus on small pieces of consistency that you can build up over time. We don't need to put pressure on ourselves that we have to spend an hour every day working on whatever it is we want to work on. But if you can set a timer for 5 minutes, that is actually going to help you build more consistency. If I had to think, man, I need to go do this task I don't really want to do for an hour today, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. That's kind of overwhelming. But if I think, okay, I just have to do this task for 5 minutes, I'll set my timer and then I can stop. And the thing is, sometimes I'll probably stop right at the 5 minutes, especially if I wasn't feeling it, but I just showed up at least. And sometimes you'll be more motivated to continue going even after the timer is up. Once we're in the mindset of a certain task, it's much easier to keep going rather than before we've even started in the first place. So if you can figure out ways that you can show up even for just tiny pockets of time every day, whatever this particular goal is that you have for yourself or thing you're trying to achieve, that really matters. Lastly, use rewards strategically. Sometimes if we're cruising along on a goal, we don't always take the time to pause and look back at how far we've come and celebrate our victories and even reward ourselves for our actions. Rewards are a type of positive reinforcement that can support us on our journey and continue to break it up, make it a bit more fun, and help us continue moving forward. With this in mind, the rewards do not have to be stuff related. You can select any type of fun reward for yourself, whether that is an experience, a fun hobby that you enjoy doing. It could be a consumable item or getting food from a favorite restaurant of yours. It could be something related to rest or self-care. It could be that a certain family member takes a certain chore off your plate. Whatever you decide to do, building in regular rewards is incredibly helpful. And I know for me, I think it's one of the reasons why I'm able to succeed at a lot of the different goals I set for myself. Not all of them, but for many of the goals, I have different rewards at various stages along the way. Sometimes they're really small, other times they're a bit bigger. And it's always nice to have something to look forward to. You're not just continuing to work endlessly with no clear vision of where you're going to. It helps us actually break up these larger goals into smaller pieces and say, hey, you know what? How awesome is it that I was able to do this particular thing? Let's reward ourselves. For an easy example, let's say you are trying to save up for a $1,000 emergency fund or add $1,000 to your current emergency fund. Maybe you decide to break up that $1,000 goal into several pieces, maybe 4 pieces of $250 each, and you do a small non-monetary reward each time you hit that $250 mark. Maybe you watch a movie at home or make your favorite dinner at home, and then maybe you do a little bit of a bigger reward when you hit that $1,000 mark. You can apply the same logic to any other type of goal you have. I definitely encourage you to give rewards a try if you're looking for a little bit of extra boost along the way, along this journey. That wraps up today's video about self-discipline, but I will leave some of my other Minimalist Living 101 videos here on the screen that you might also enjoy. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.